2/3 of millennials who bought a home now have regrets, according to a Bankrate survey. Listen, I am the queen of going around a store, picking up things, putting it in my shopping cart, and aborting mission at the last minute. I'm also quick to be influenced by those who influence on Instagram, albeit the latest house gadget, and oh look, another pair of cozy pants. I don't think I have enough. I do in fact have enough, actually. A recent rare occasion where my husband was folding laundry uncovered that I have 10 pairs of black cozy pants. But I digress. Back to these regrets. It's one thing to return something to Target or Amazon, and another thing entirely to return a house. Surprisingly, you can't. I bet that'll be something in the future though. So what are all these regrets millennials and some boomers are having? Today I'm going to share with you the 6 most common regrets I see homeowners have when buying a house in Georgia. The most common regret I see is one that, well, you can try to avoid like death and taxes, but it's inevitable. It never fails. Every year I get a phone call from a sweet couple shortly after their home purchase to tell me that their HVAC isn't working or the hot water heater isn't working. And while I think it's great that I've bonded with my clients so well and that my team and I are the first people that they think of to call, but well, y'all, I haven't a clue how to fix that or how to fix a hot water heater, but I do have great recommendations for vendors that specialize in those areas. Inevitably, when buying a home, unless it's brand new, something is going to stop working at some point, and depending upon the age, the more you can expect to go wrong. Not having money or a plan in place to deal with these emergencies is key when buying a home. And yes, it would be great to find a home with a brand new roof, a new hot water heater, new HVAC, completely remodeled, and on and on and on. And I would also like to find a move-in ready house on a lake for $250,000. But as we say here, it ain't happening. However, finding a home with some of these items already taken care of is possible, and having savings to deal with what's to come is wise as well, or at the very least, a great home warranty. So my team and I can recommend a fantastic home warranty company that covers all of your major systems and appliances, and having a great home warranty in place only costs about $625 a year. I'm so thankful that we had one, my husband and I had one in place a few years ago. We bought our home and during the first heavy rainstorm encountered water in our living room. Thank goodness for that home warranty that was able to fix that roof leak. Now, another common regret my team and I see buyers make is buying a home in an area that either they aren't that familiar with or in an area that they don't want to be. So it can be tempting to get caught up in a beautiful house that seems to check all of the boxes except for location. Or better yet, be lured in by a really great price and not minding the extra 15 or 20 minutes that puts on your commute. So house hunting, it can be exhausting and difficult, so it's tempting to give in or compromise on this. And yet, over time, I've encountered buyers who ultimately wish they would have bought somewhere else. That extra 15 to 20 minutes each day, there and back, adds up to quite a bit every single week. Or we have homeowners that come to find out that all of the areas that they frequent are like 20 and 30 minutes away. Now, this isn't to say that location can't be a good thing to compromise on. We always stress to our clients to drive around the area, check out commute times, drive to grocery stores and areas that they frequent from the house. Or better yet, if you're thinking about relocating from out of state, it's a necessity to plan an exploratory trip to really get a feel for the area and traffic. Some neighborhoods are in a fantastic location, and yet the traffic around them can be a nightmare. The next regret we see is one that I can certainly relate to, and that is getting caught up in a home size. So bigger isn't always better, especially when comparing homes. You may think that a 3,200 square foot home is a bargain compared to the 2,500 square foot home when all things are equal. And if you have a large family that will actually use that space, fantastic. But if you're like me, you're gonna find yourself with a bigger house than what you actually need. And that leads to bigger everything, more furniture, more decorating, more things to renovate, more space to heat and cool, to maintain, and the most painful, gosh, more to clean. Likewise, you don't want to find yourself in a home that is too small. More commonly, as buyers try to keep up with the demanding and changing market, we have had buyers who regret not buying. I know, but hear me out. Because the market has increased so much over the last 18 months, buyers who were in the market and making offers on homes, or better yet, waiting for the perfect one, have now been outpriced by the market. The only option they have left is to increase their budget, which, let's face it, is not an option for most, or change their expectations. For example, I had buyer clients who were searching for a home under $300,000 in a very competitive area of Atlanta. The husband and wife, y'all, they were on completely different pages when it came to what they were looking for. So we kept seeing house after house, some that I thought were very great options, and they couldn't come to an agreement on the house. So they made several offers, got outbid. We've also made an offer on a home, and we were $2,500 away from winning. $2,500 away. Not telling you what to do with your money, but when you factor in an extra $2,500 to your mortgage, which they were qualified for, we're talking about another $5, $6 a month. So on their payment, and they decided to pass on this home. Where do we find ourselves? 6 months later, we have priced ourselves out of the market. Those home prices have increased. So what was a $300,000 house is now $325,000. That's over what they can afford or what they feel comfortable spending. So they're back into their rental for another year while they wait to see what the market does. And I'm their real estate agent over here saying, hey, the market's not going to cool down. You're going to pay more next year, and more likely you're going to have a higher interest rate as well on your mortgage, which also affects your affordability. So they have regrets about not buying. Now, don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, it is your money, and my team and I want what is best for you as a buyer. And sometimes timing is everything, right? So for whatever reason, things happen and things don't work out, and that's not ultimately the right house for them. And yet, it's our job though too to give you that best advice so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. It also never fails to come up when working with buyers who are buying their second home. Almost always, these buyers talk about their previous agent who helped them with their first home. And with that comes regrets from having used him or her, from being pressured into buying a home they didn't really love, or to not fully understanding the process, or feeling like they didn't have anyone fighting on their behalf for the best possible outcome. We hear this all the time. Who you work with matters. You know, if you go to Chick-fil-A, you're going to get a very different experience than if you went to Burger King. Better quality food, better service, just a better experience. The difference truly matters. Or perhaps if you've used the dental implant billboard people, you know, those billboards that you see on the highway and it's like dental implants, $1,500. Do you have those where you're located, or is that just an Atlanta thing? I would not trust these people. Making sure you are working with an experienced agent is just the same. You're gonna want someone who is knowledgeable about the market. You're gonna ask for references, read reviews, interview several agents, and don't just go with the first one that you find on Zillow, the sign that's in the yard, or your acquaintance that just got licensed. After all, whenever you're working with a buyer's agent, most of the time their services are completely at no charge to you as a buyer. That's covered by the selling agent and the sellers themselves. Now, lastly, if you've pretty much watched any of my other videos on buying a house, this topic comes up again and again, and we beat it like a dead horse. That's a weird saying. But that is using a local lender. Time and time again, we've learned to become a bit more firm on this, and that is, you will most certainly have a bad experience if you work with a national lender. I've experienced buyers being told that they could afford a certain amount on a home. We go under contract on their dream home only to have to terminate because the buyer didn't truly qualify for that home based on like a lender error or a document they didn't receive or even ask for up front. We've seen seriously low appraisals due to the lack of network with local appraisers that these national lenders have. We've seen missed deadlines, which then impacts the closing date. Listen, these national lenders, they don't care when you have your movers lined up. They don't care if you close that day or if you close in 5 days. In their mind, they're still winners because they got you to the closing table. But, you know, there causes like a chain reaction effect, and we've seen stressed out buyers time and time again. And the headaches go on and on and on. Remember that Chick-fil-A experience we talked about? You're not going to find that with a national lender. So what regrets have you had about buying a home? I would love to hear about them. And of course, if you're thinking about making a move, my team and I would love to speak with you so that you don't regret where you end up moving.